now.
The Fly Fifer and Just Another Monkey. Time to backpedal forwards down the rabbit hole.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sat here with Just Another Monkey yet again. You might see familiar surroundings, but guess what we've done? As promised, we've got the pamphlet done. So if you're watching this in widescreen, we're pointing at it right now. If you're listening, you're just going to have to envisage it.
I could draw you a picture and you'll not see that either.
Alan, how you doing, pal?
I'm
good?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Seeing this is fucking fantastic.
Aye. I could see the eyes lit up when I got out the van. I seen 100%. You spring out of the chair and I thought,
again, seeing black and white and things like that is it's not the same. It doesn't have the same thing, but the way that the fella has put this together between the two years, it's exactly what I had visualised it to be. Just having a wee flick through it there. The pictures, there's one, if the camera gets it. This one's triggers and food for thoughts, and I don't know if you'll get in on it.
Yeah. If you zoom in on that, they'll be able to see that.
Absolutely brilliant. The path of least resistance is a choice, and it's a wee syringe with a wee man hiding, looking at it, and he's got drink and glue beside him. But it's that whole thing, again, hiding. How do you choose to hide? So that can sit there and accompany us, because that triggers the monkey. The monkey sees that and think, hey, fucking that'll do.
There's a bunch of bananas sat right fucking there.
But he's got to hide on fucking Lothian Regional Transport buses to confuse people.
Aye, so this is going to be available to anybody that wants it.
Not sure how it's going to go.
We've only just put it together, so Alan and I were having a brief discussion of how to get it to you, or how we put it out there. So maybe once we get up and running with an email address for Alan, or an email address for Just Another Monkey, or an email address building barriers at Just Another Monkey, or something like that, we're going to work on ways to getting it to you. I mean, you can ask, but
we've got it. It's here. We can actually touch it. It's shiny, glossy.
He's excited. He likes these bananas.
I love it, honestly. I love it. There's only a couple of the wee doodles in there, and again, I must have done a series of about 70 or something, but there's the best one. Shit Creek.
And we've been swimming around that for a few weeks now. And
Andrew Big G, he'll be zooming in there to see what he can find inside Shit Creek, I'm sure.
And speaking of Andrew Big G and another wee fella that we both know well, and we've got them phoning in today.
Your man Tam.
We've got Tam. So we've got Tam phoning in just shortly. We were going to go live with it and just let random people phone in, but we're testing the system. This is all new. We've got to test it. We've got to make sure it's all working. So we've got Tam and G phoning in on my personal number, because we've still to fix a hooky number for the show for folk to phone in, because I didn't fancy putting my own number on TikTok. I don't know about anybody else, but we put enough on TikTok. I didn't think we need our own personal numbers on it. So we're working on that. So what I'm going to do for the next 50 minutes is let Alan talk about his bunch of bananas in front of him, because this has been weeks we've been waiting on this, and a bit of to and froing with pictures and images. And I'm going to say a big thank you to Tomas at CopyMade. If you're listening, Tomas, Alan is mega appreciative of this, and I can't thank you
double monkey thumbs up for this one.
And Tomas does a lot of work for me for both companies, so he's my go-to guy for this sort of stuff. Anyway, enough about me. Alan, take it away.
Oh, this is what you refer to as podcast number 1, which is only audio. But this is the story that I went up onto. I can't remember the name of the place now, but it's
the Point.
Brayfruit Point. And I love it, because having a place called Brayfruit Point, where I want to go up and put a point across, because the whole thing was that I thought I had a message there, and it's to reassure people, because we are, and it's irrespective of what I think. I think the media, everybody else will tell you, we're in testing times for everyone. And I thought, you know what, it's a fucking shame, because I see people that know on the surface, they're putting the brave face on, but I know that there is a facade there, and there's a barrier, and they're hidden behind it, the real true self of who they are. So for me to have done it, I'd done the rough thing, and I thought, if I can get out there, if I can get it to anybody, then maybe somebody will hear it and see it and think, you know what, life isn't that bad. There's tests and there's struggles and everything else. But I
couldn't believe it when I heard this, by the way.
Well,
see, when I heard that, because we'd been chatting, and then you gave me that nugget, I was like, holy There's session 1 right there.
Again, the whole point was going up there, and I thought, I'll try it. And I'd tested various avenues with it, and it just wasn't happening. And I thought, if I think that this is a wee message, and I want to put that message out there, I've got a YouTube account. I'll go and sit on a fucking rock like a fucking monkey, and I'll just read it into my phone. And again, my phone doesn't work forward, so I can't even see what I'm looking at. But I went and I'd done it, and it worked out absolutely fine. And I thought, fuck it. 3 days it took me to upload it because the Wi-Fi in this area is absolutely piss. And I ended up going out to Sterling Mills, and I'd say to one of my daughters, I says, rubbish. I said, that thing doesn't work, because I'd got a notification. It got to 99 and then went back to 0. And I thought, oh no. I didn't understand technology again. That's for assholes, it's not for monkeys.
I'll be that
asshole. But no, what happened was I signed into their Wi-Fi, and I said, I'll try it again. But it just went like that, whoosh, up and away. And I thought, oh, danger. So to me, the message was out there. Whatever, if there is a message in it, it's away, it's into the ether, and I can then say, that's it, I've done it. And then I discovered TikTok, and I thought, this is even better. I can do short snippets with the same intention. In this wee thing, there is none of the bullshit that I do on the TikTok. There's no personal stuff in there. There's the battles and the climbs, but they're no individual. So if I'm dealing with something, it's under the guise of trauma, or as the wee thing says, or the wee hurtful words and things like that. I used all that, or the adverse childhood experiences to actually knock up a wall, a defensive wall, and that's where I hid behind it. So as you grow older, the thing that comes out in front of the wall becomes a persona. Whether you want to call it an ego, whether I want to call it man, whether I want to call it the monkey, it all depends on what you perceive it as. Again, I didn't know the rules. And the perfect one is your other thing with the chimp paradox. The man has 3. He has the human, the chimp, and the computer. He's so close to my own theory. His was done in 2012. I've been using the monkey theory since I fucking realised what it was. And trust me, it was a lot longer.
But that was it.
9 years ago.
And who was it? I can't remember who it was, but somebody put that in the comments. Have any of you read The Chimp Paradox? And I was like, and it straight away I was like, I fucking downloaded that book about 5-6 years ago. Never. I put it on. I was driving a truck at the time, and I was like, oh, can I listen to this boy's voice? I just think somebody better could have narrated it for him. But then when we started doing this, and somebody put it in a comment, and I listened to it again, I was like, oh, he's barking up the right tree. And then I thought, who's the man for this?
Again, you're up a fucking tree. Do you know what I mean? Barking up a tree.
I had to get you to critique it or have a listen to it to then say, well, what about this? He's hitting, he's on the right path, but maybe taking the wrong direction.
The one thing that he has that works against him is the title. It says he's a psychiatrist. Red flag straight away. I honestly, I have no business argument that could justify anything that I say, and everybody, honestly, anybody that watches will see that I do things off my own back. I didn't get taught nothing. I have no education. Everything I've learnt myself. I've taught myself, and it's always been the wrong fucking way. It's always been in reverse. So you going back down the rabbit hole is me going forward in life, because I'm taking you through my past the right way. It's how it should have been done. Hence, but this wee man, I just found him really hilarious. Not our wee man, but the wee psychiatrist man. Because when he's talking about these individual things and how they happen, I become confused. And the monkey starts running, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a psychiatrist. You have no idea what goes on inside the mind, unless it's your own mind that you're divulging. But he went for the human to the chimp to the computer.
That's the bit that bugged me, was the computer.
The bit that bugs it is the bug that's in there, because inside the computer there is a gremlin and there's a goblin.
A goblin,
And like, well, who's narrating the story then? Because you've now introduced 6 characters. And if that's no split personality, you need fucking medicated, pal. There's something wrong with you. I have 3. I've always had the monkey, the man. The man is the asshole, unfortunately, that signs up to the system. That's the monkey. The man, the asshole. And then on my journey, I discovered that I had forgotten myself, the wee boy who is behind the fucking wall.
And that, I rest my case, my lord. But that, when you say, you've got the monkey, the man, and then the computer has he says, straight away when I heard that listening while I'm cleaning my windows, I was like, hey, That's a box, mate. A computer's a box. And you didn't put a fucking monkey in a box. Referring to yourself, thinking, and you're in the back of my head saying, oh, who puts who in a fucking box? Like, get out that fucking box.
The thing for me, again, diverting back to him, is that he says, when he says, because Karen's driving her car and she's just had a rough phone call for you about fucking roller skates and somebody cuts in front of her. Now, there's two people can control this here. The chimp will automatically react and say, that bugger's just cut me up. Whereas the human will be like, no, sit in the back, I'll deal with this as a rational grown-up person. That'll be fine. Later on, when you get home and you can sit down with another human and you can have a conversation, when the chimp is asleep or in the box. Are you kidding me on? You reckon you can put a monkey in a box and you're got to control it? You're a fucking asshole. You're stupid. The monkey, he'll even tell you so, is 5 times the strength of the human. It'll rip his fucking arms off if he tries to put it in a box. And there's no danger it's going to sleep. If it's got a fight in its head, it wants to fight. And that's again, it's the
fight will be to get out the fucking box.
It will no go in the box. So trust me. Well, you watch when they take a monkey and put it into a cage. It doesn't go in there voluntary. They've usually got it drugged up anyway. And that's what we do. That's what society does that, and psychiatrists will do that. They will knock out the noise. They will knock out the monkey. He's obviously just studied somebody and let it wake up, and the monkey's come out, and it's so, yeah, this is wrong. I'm not taking your medication. Fuck you. And so, that's strange behaviour. It seems to be throwing shite at the wall. It must be the primeval monkey that we talk about. Whereas A Sense of Freedom with Jimmy Boyle, that's what he done, his dirty protest. He spared the selling shite so the prison officers didn't hit him. Is that a fucking idiot or a smart monkey?
It's a smart man. Again, it's like Bronson covers his selling Vaseline and stuff like that. And
butter, you'll use butter. Slippery customers. I mean, it's anything at all. I mean, the natural thing is when the big postman tried to pull my arm out the socket, he locked hands like that, but the heat generated between two hands is enough to break sweat. And when he tries to do that, his hands are sliding, and I'm like, your hands are sliding, it's not really that serious. But if I play the part, you're going to think you're really winning. Oh, help. It's like when Harry met Sally, I'm orgasming and he thinks I've got you. You go, fuck all. You're playing with a monkey that knows your game because you've showed me the rule book. I now know how to play, so again, I didn't go into detail in the wee booklet, but I can't wait for that to hit.
It'll be good to get it out there. I mean,
not so much hit the shelves, but hit the people in the back of the head. Because that's, to me, it's a boomerang. It might be just a nice wee gentle walk through somebody's account, but at the same time, it's an account that anybody that's followed my story will see that it's a story that's legitimately worth reading, listening to, whatever you want.
Absolutely, because it's touched this monkey here. You know, it's made me get in touch with that monkey that I was quashing down and sidetracking and no listening Franco, the cheeky wee bastard.
You need to do one with Franco yourself and just run round the table.
Christ almighty, imagine that. That would involve substances that I'm not prepared to use anymore.
To be honest, the whole point is when you get in touch with yourself, and if it is the inner self, you'll find that you have split personalities. You must, because you'll talk to a client and they'll be like, oh, listen, James, I'm needing to do that and you're like, okay, yes, I understand. The asshole understands, but the monkey's like,
the monkey's walking away saying,
arsehole, drop him.
Exactly.
It makes absolute sense that we have a split personality, but the medical profession will say, no, you cannot, that is impossible. But we do it, we always do it. When you question something inside your mind and you know it's wrong, that is a primeval instinct. What is more primal than a fucking monkey? If Mr. Darwin's to be believed, we fell out the fucking trees anyway. It's just so many of us learn to walk upright, and we're like, hey, check this out, look, I'm going to put some clothes on. We come in butt naked. We go out butt naked. It's just one of the things. I think it's evolution, and that's what's happened. The evolution is that we have now stepped off of the merry-go-round. We've stepped away from all that shite that man has battered this way, and it is a silly stick that do this, do that, get up early, go and get on the treadmill, earn money, pay your taxes, pay a wee bit more than taxes, save your money, keep going. What is he now, 65? Go and sit down. I can finally sit down and enjoy the labours of my graft of all these years. Oh, what's that, doctor? I'm stage fucking 7 terminal cancer.
Can you hear that? That's another
like
monkey. We have a call. Will we answer that monkey?
Hello.
Let's answer that monkey. Good timing. Right, this is the Angry Plumber.
Hello.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Fifer. Your call is important to us. Please hold the line while we transfer you to the studio.
Oh, he's fuming.
Get on hold!
Thanks for holding.
You're through. Please do not swear.
That's like a doctor's surgery.
We're going to transfer you.
You'll ken that one. Listen, Tam, we've just been blaring about the building barriers book pamphlet that we've got out. So you'll know, you never heard the conversation, but
you can't see it.
You can't see it either.
It.
But when you listen to this, you'll be able to see Alan holding it up to you and stuff like that. So, Tam, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. You're an avid follower of Just Another Monkey. You're a follower of mine, and you and I have shoot the shit many a time.
Yep.
And I think
thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming along, albeit via the phone call. And today, you're basically part of the experiment.
Definitely. And as part of the experiment, you're the only other person to be in the cage, apart from my split personality and James and his split. So you're the first.
I've been in many experiments.
That's true, right enough with all the stories you've been telling me about the NHS. Tam, anyway, welcome. Anything you want to say, anything you want to ask me, you're more than welcome. You've probably got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I don't know. But we'll see where this goes. Tam, any questions for Just Another Monkey? Fire away.
Well, just wait till I get my bit of toilet paper, because I wrote down a lot.
Here he goes, it's a big list.
What the fuck you got toilet paper for?
How you got that? That's gold in them there hills, man. Somebody will turn your house.
Well, I do have kids and a wife with an arsehole that needs wipe.
That's a good one.
This first question, first question is for Alan.
Yes.
So, Alan, I'm trying to think of a way to put this.
Just fucking throw it, Tom.
Hang on, Tom. I need to play this.
BNI sound.
Oh, no. I carry on, mate.
Alan, what's the outcome you're going to see going forward after these podcasts?
Do you know, perfect, Tom, because the wee booklet, James has done this, and I think it was that it had to be done in this order, that I did the wee TikTok things, then I do, in the background, the wee Building Barriers booklet is being put together. And it's not so much me exposing myself, but it's me painting the backstory as to who is the person behind the barriers. And I think I've put enough out there. And certainly in the podcast, I've not held nothing back at all.
Yeah, it's been open, like.
Well, the traumas and everything else. My ultimate goal, Tom, is that anybody at all that is holding or harbouring some bullshit that is dragging them down and no letting them fulfil their own achievements in life it's just that thing, you know it, Tam, because we drag shite about with us, we carry unwarranted stuff that doesn't belong to us. My whole purpose was that I exposed myself to let everybody know that, hey, this cunt is just another monkey. He's another asshole with a backstory for the schemes, maybe a bit rougher, a bit tougher. I've maybe been slapped about a bit more than the average bear. But at the end of the day, I'm human like everyone else, and I carry the exact same trauma and everything else. And the wee booklet thing, if it's just a wee slow guide, a wee path through that anybody can look at, the wee doodles, they to me are like hieroglyphic because they tell a story within themselves. All it is to try and trigger a mind to say, do you know what? I'm going to do it for me, not for everybody else. So ultimately,
get people asking questions.
Questions yourself, Tom, not to question me. I'm here, I'm available.
Get people asking questions within themselves. Like.
That's definitely the journey for me, and I says it to my wife, as soon as we got hit with this 2020, that gave us clarity of vision. We could see, and we got told to sit on your arse, go and sit on your hole. And to my mind is a very complex fucking thing. I didn't understand it half the time. But it tells me to sit down, and then I'll start doodling, I'll start writing. I'll do all these other things that have always been there, but then they start to make sense because I start raking over my own past. And that last one that I got in 2019, where I had almost a similar T-shirt for 1991, I dealt with the 91 T-shirt in a bad way, but I still held on to it. So when 2019 came, I thought, is that it? That's the best you can throw at me to try and pull me off track now? You can fuck off with that. It's never going to do it now. And I dragged the whole lot round in front of me, and I looked at it all, and I'm sifting through it thinking, oh, that's too big for me now, that's too wee, that doesn't fit, that's not even fucking mine. And I emptied the whole thing through, and one of the wee doodles that I'd done in the original was the wee guy walking away into 2020 way. Just, no, it's on the back of the book. I'm going to show it to the camera. And it's titled Freedom, and it's a wee man walking away. He's got a wee flight case, and he's unshackled himself with a big bag, and the bag's titled Crap and the Wall, because I no longer hide behind barriers, and I don't think it's conducive to anyone with any problems, any ill health, mental health. No, getting conformity for doctors just trying to fucking drug you up and slap your ass and send you to the door. It doesn't work. It's never worked for a long time.
See, before you done the podcast, Alan, did you ever think you would be so open and honest on air and live on a podcast?
Do you know there was I had done bits and bobs in front of the camera. I'm sure I've bleated on enough about that with the acting stuff. And I've always found it fascinating, because one of the workshops that I went to, when it was for the grey area, they'd done it for a workshop and then eventually put it onto the big screen type of thing. But when I was there, and the people were like, oh, how do you do that? And like, unfortunately, I'm not an actor, but I've played a part every day my fucking life, because the worst one was the trauma for the sexual abuse thing. And to be honest, Tam, it wasn't bad. If I gave you the straight details, what you worried about, it'd be the same as somebody grabbing your ass to me, because I know there's people out there that have suffered fucking horrendously. But no, that was one, and then you get a few other different ones that I think they pummel the head, and that's a for surety. I fucking love
I see that you've had that. You've obviously. You've been through such a lot, and has that pushed you to accomplish things that you thought you would never accomplish? And also, what do you see next that you're going to accomplish?
Well, do you know, it's a funny one, Tom, because going back to the original one there, is me being so open and honest, it's what I say to James all the time, it's an organic thing, it just grows. I'm open with people through my life, but I always have found, and I'm sure you have as well, you open up so much, people take what they need. It's like open house, and then they come in, they take your telly, take the video, and they fuck off, and they leave you, and you think, wow, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be giving it away, because I've always had it, and it's always been a gift, and I've shared that gift with numerous people, and then eventually I thought, you know what, I'm just going to shut it off. There's no point. People will just continually take. So to go forward for this point, I've done as much as I've ever needed to do, and when I say that I've lived more lives than a fucking cat, I'm not joking. I should have been gone a long time ago, but I'm still here and I'm still going. So now there is one doodle, and it shows a wee button bend. I'd love for the message to go out there for people to get it, and then, because to me it's evolution. If you got something for it and you says, do you know what, this guy's actually got a fucking point here. We didn't need to carry the baggage, the trauma, the victimisation. It's only a fleeting moment in time. We didn't need it. Chuck it away. All that grief that you carry, it just makes you burdened on the shoulders.
Resentful.
Well, that's it. The bitterness and the resentfulness is what you take out on other people. And I think the guidance that I've had in all the positions I found myself in, be it the pubs. I mean, I've worked in Edinburgh's Gunner was notorious, and there's some people in there, and when you go in, you've got a guy standing at the bar, and he's maybe acting a peacock, and maybe I'm stamping my authority, fuck you, and then you send in a big asshole like me, and I walk in and say, what are you shouting at? Oh, sorry. The anger hasn't went away, it goes home, and it gets taken out on the wife, it gets taken out on the kids, it gets taken on the dog, it gets taken on the doors. I've bought houses and I've went in, and the guy's been a fucking kung fu black belt at breaking doors, man. And I've got to replace him, like, can you not get a punch bag, fucking boy wonder. So, I mean, ultimately for me, I would say 100%, Tom, if I had a message and anything that was there, it's to unlock anybody's mind to just fucking letting go shite, because I know how heavy it can be on the average guy just to drag it. And to me, it would be no barriers. Didn't build barriers. Just talk about it. I mean, that's why I love TikTok, because you guys just talk about it. And then when you first done your podcast, it was open. And you were honest, and anybody with a backstory has a truth and an honesty. And if they try and disguise it, if they put a facade on it, you're no winning. But everybody else, well, that's it. Everybody can see your honesty. You didn't hold back. And if I can see your honesty, it empowers me to think, do you know what? Yeah, fuck it. You grab the pitchfork and you go out and you strive for life.
Yeah.
There's honesty and there's honesty, Tam.
Sometimes I get myself in trouble for that.
How many accounts? How many accounts now, Tam?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm still on too.
Oh, good son. Good. Sorry.
So, do you see yourself? Do you actually like? I would like to see you to maybe going into schools and doing. I remember I mentioned about like a live Q&A, but
definitely
nowadays it's like that when you go into schools, you think you would get away with being so open if you were invited into a school to talk about it.
Well, do you know that this is the big one, Tam? Is this wee pamphlet thing, booklet, whatever we're going to name the fucker? It has 2 swear words in it, and I feel I swear because I feel a certain validation in it. It puts a truthful on it that I'm being honest. And again, you take it to the court system. Yeah. What do they do? They make you swear on a Bible. I've never had to go in and say "fuck you, Bible." It's the same thing.
Same thing.
So the 2 words in here, and it's dealing with the trauma, and they are absolute bastards, and there is no way trying to soften that. That's exactly what they are. So the wee pamphlet itself, I've got friends who have been at me saying, "Oh, you need to get this into the schools, you need to do this," and to me it makes absolute sense to get them early.
I think there's an age group thing that the book applies to, because there's a certain age group that will not get that. They might read it, they might be able to read it, but they'll not understand it, they'll not get it. Whereas you'll breach that void where you'll get to an age group where it's primary 7, first year, you know, and what primary 7-year-old or first year doesn't know the word bastard?
I know, but again, I feel that it's a justified word that anybody, a teacher, a parent, they'll understand it and say, listen, this isn't really a naughty word because it's in there as a real thing. But to me, it's the ones that you need to get. It's the vulnerable ones that are building barriers right now because mum's an alcoholic, dad's a junkie, father's in the jail, he's passed away, whatever it is, they're dealing with trauma, and then because they become a victim,
got fucking stole a sausage roll, couldn't pay the fine and got jailed.
Exactly. Everybody is struggling, but if you go to the younger ones and get them before they start picking up the defence, because when you've got that defence, all you are is a pair of eyes, the wee nose sticking over the top, you're no accessible to society, and then you start reverting and you become a split personality. To me right now, I think evolution as we go into whatever is through the back end of this COVID carry on, is we're going to have single people. They're not going to have a need to hide because we're so open. I mean, here's 3 grown fucking men quite happy to talk about whatever is required to be talked about. That should empower youngsters to say, I don't give a fuck. No, if you're going to abuse me or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, Tom.
It's especially since nowadays there's no when we're all round about the same age, and if not 10 maybe years older or younger, but growing up you couldn't talk about these things, and if you did talk about them, you weren't allowed to, and you were shunned away. But now social media has played a part, which is probably the good part, that people can talk about it.
But I see that. I hear what you're saying there, Tam, but just to debate that just briefly, as I see that as pointed at our age. You try... There's nobody saying that to first and second years and stuff like that. Do you think they're going to share their feelings with their wee pal Jimmy up the road? I don't fucking think so.
That would be my thing, and I think that's what Tam...
that's what I mean. Like,
I think if we open it now...
how we're 30, 40 now, 50 and up, we're able to talk about it now, but back then it was, shut up, get in your room and didn't mention that again.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get slapped down. What you fucking greeting for? Shut up. You're making up, you're lying. Oh, he's got some imagination in him, that laddie. Whereas now, I think that's exactly. It's always been the same. I mean, there's horror stories out there, and I have my own. And again, I can only reflect on the things around about me. So, but I know that the association between the north of Edinburgh, the south of Edinburgh schemes, and the schemes of Dundee, the schemes of Fife, they're the same. They're the same people. And to me, there are some very, very smart monkeys in there, but they get beat down with a stupid stick to conformity. So you do as you're told, you shut the fuck up, and you sit in the corner, you don't speak until you're spoken to, or that.
Tick box.
Yeah, but my thing was with my own daughters, I mean, there's 16, 13 and 8, and not one of them was the dummy, because I understood what the dummy meant, and it's a pacifier. And I can pacify people by telling them exactly what they want to hear and fuck all else. That's again goes back to psychiatry. In counselling, we open and close questions. You ask me a question as anybody, and I can close you down. So if you say to me, "Oh, hi, Alan, how are you?" I'm fine. The conversation's finished. You've got to dig deeper. But if I say to you, "Oh, hi, James, how are you? What have you been up to today?" You have to answer me. But again, a smart monkey will shut you down at every chance. And that's because he's mastered the defensive mechanism. And to me, it's behind that wee wall. That's where you build it. And you hide.
So, James, have you noticed a difference in yourself from starting the podcast and going through Alan's and James, together? James, have you seen a difference in yourself since starting this podcast and going through the journey with Alan?
Oh, mate, honestly, my monkey's there. It's been suppressed for so long, and it's a cheeky wee bastard. And some poor lassie up your way was giving me grief over a pair of roller skates. Yes, a pair of freaking roller skates. Yep. I was getting grief for it because I did her a favour. Franco put her at the front of the queue to make sure she would get him. And I went full. I just let loose on the poor bugger, and she got Franco's full pelt. Cheeky little monkey. So yeah,
get it out, though, is it?
Aye, I had to, and it was on a professional stand-in. So I took a bit of a risk, and I just thought, nah, you need to hear how silly you're being, lady. Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you straight. And I told her straight, there was no lies, there was no holes barred. I wasn't trying to, blow smoke up her rear or anything like that. She was just told the absolute truth, and that absolute truth came out as utter cheek when you read it. But do you know what? It was as honest as the day's long. It was, if you jump in the river, you're getting wet. There was no lies, nothing.
No, that's a big one, is the lies. And lies. I know sitting obviously opposite you for the day that I met you, we've always had the wee chit chats, but that first day that we met, for there to you actually realising, because if it was a dream, you realising that dream, I can see you're allowing Franco out the cage. And it's suppressing that. Why do we do it? Because as the male of the species, we become the alpha male. We're the dominant species because we want to provide. We have to be daddy. We have to set rules and everything else. But somewhere along we lose ourselves because ourself was the same asshole that fell out the tree. It was the same one that got into trouble.
And that's it. Find your inner monkey. Give him or her a name. And I need to tell you, Tam, I'm going to tell everybody, right, while you're listening to this, why I've called my monkey Franco.
That was going to be the next question.
Well, here you go. Here we go. It is purely the fact that my oldest child has borne me a grandson. Right, that grandson's called Frankie. When I look at that wee boy, I just see me. I see me as that wee child because he's in it everything. He wants to climb everything. He wants to fix everything. He wants to tear everything apart. He's a cheeky wee monkey. And that is why I decided to myself, there was no inner thought, it was just like, that's me, so I'm calling my monkey Franco. And that's where it came from, Paul.
Brilliant.
Yeah, here's one for you, Tom. What would you call your monkey?
Mozzie. Well, we're there again. I've got the monkey out at the time.
What I was going to say, is it a naughty monkey? Do you spank it occasionally when it's a bit unworldly?
Spank your monkey.
So find them.
You need to dig them out. You need to dig them again, out, Paul. We see your TikTok and your honesty is fucking fantastic.
Maybe that's his monkey. Maybe that's him. Maybe we're talking to the monkey. We're not talking to Tam at all. Maybe Tam's the plumber.
Tam's the asshole.
And the monkey's the fucking one with the.
Does it all? Aye. I refer to the asshole. Tom, the asshole isn't derogative. The asshole is the complier. He's the one that complies to all the rules and stuff. Whereas the monkey says, fuck you, put a seatbelt on, drive at 30, fuck you, I'm doing 50, beat it. The ones that you shout at all the time.
What's that, Paul?
It's comfy years of people walking over us, and then you can just pent up anger. So I used to go to anger management and they say just find an avenue to let it out. So
can I just say something, Sam?
Social media with
monkey.
You see that anger management? Didn't work.
It's a waste of money.
Get out that
wasting their resources. Somebody else could be getting help there, Tom. Learn
how to pick that lock.
Very last question then.
Go for it.
Where does it go from here for you guys?
Well,
How do you
we've
see
not
it
even
going?
started, I don't think. I think
I'm quite happy to chase this wee booklet thing because
Aye.
again, Tom, you had says no, try and note the journey as it goes. It's there. It's in colour vision nowadays. Because of the podcast, there's officially 5 now.
Yeah.
You can watch. There's the one audio,
And the one that you're listening.
which is the book.
Yeah.
And the book is now the one that I want to, because I see that as being a key. Now that there's a backstory to the key hopefully will just either pop that door, just let me get my foot in the door, and I would take it to the prison system, I'd take it to the schools, I would take it, if there is a message in there, again, it now needs validation for other people to say, there is a message there that can help these people that are they're no help in society. The system is broken. It's been broken for a long time. It's got elastoplast, it's got sellotape, super glue hanging out its arse. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for a long time. And the only people that's going to make a difference is the people that know what they're talking about. And unfortunately, educated people don't fucking know. You've got to have been there.
Yep. And it's the same people who have been in the system for years that are still implementing.
That's it.
Yeah.
The thing, so that it needs to be a like, I don't say a younger team, but a fresher eyes in it.
That's it.
It's a different set of rules. It's a different outtake, a different look.
Yeah.
It's when you go into that job and they always say, it's great to have, you're like a breath of fresh air. Into that system. Introduce some fucking fresh air into it because it stinks, it's stale.
Have you not noticed that, Joe? See that, what you're saying about...
like yourself, Alan.
Well, again, I would love it, but I would love it to be, for a younger version. And to me, to sit down with somebody that's young, that's no studying the books and all that, put all that effort into studying your surroundings. So these young guys that are in the schemes, they've got the same story and they can see it and they'll relate to minds, and they've just no lived it as long. But then I've spent, I would say 30 years, 3 fucking decades I've spent unravelling the first 21. And that first 21 is where it really went fucking haywire. I mean, an average weekend for me is probably the equivalent of 3 years of somebody else, because I could squeeze that much in, because I was constantly running. I'd give Usain Bolt a go for his dough in those days, because I couldn't stop. And unfortunately, the 3 decades of being, and again, because I'm still battling, no now, but I was always battling that thingy, is there a mental illness there? Is there something wrong with me because I didn't think like anyone else? But now that I see it, and everybody else, the comments, yourself, everything that comes back, there's nothing but reassurance that, you just think differently. There is other people out there that are fucking far worse than you, that are actually batchy. But I think that, because I want to be an assistant, a help, whatever it is that I can do, and I know how cliche that sounds, but I don't think the guys that are out there doing their bit are doing it for the right reason. Again, I love the words, but you guys talk about people chasing clout, and I'm no up for that. I didn't need followers, I need fuck all, nothing whatsoever. What I need is to know that if I've done something via that booklet, or via spilling my guts over that Forth Road Bridge, and it helps that one person, I'm done.
One person,
it's done. The job is done. If I can help more, fuck me, I open the door and let me go.
And back to what you said earlier, Tam, about asking me if I've changed or something's opened in me. Honestly, see the last couple of months that we've done this, even those 5 sessions, sorry, I'm saying 6 again, 5 sessions, my outlook on everything has completely changed, because I think I was in this position prior, but then I dumbed it all down to follow and conform to the society that we live in.
What society want you to be?
Aye, but now the doors, it was ajar before. It's fucking just been booted open. Ken like you see on TikTok, where the lassie boots the door and comes through and says ding dong. Well, fucking Alan booted my door and come in and went ding dong, King Kong, get together, and that's where it is. It's just so bizarre. Alan and I, like you says about asking where do we, for me, this story goes as far as it wants to go, because it was the first story that I've got on it. I'm going to speak to other people. Alan knows that.
100%.
Whether Alan and I go speak to other people, that might happen. It's Alan instilled in me this thing that I bleat on about all the time. organic. It
Podcast
has
at a
to
time.
grow
That's it, Tom,
organically,
yeah,
and
exactly.
one podcast at a time.
And see if the ultimate message is going round and allowing people a voice where they actually can talk to their inner self. And not because right now you're reflecting into my eyes, you're seeing into me,
that's it.
but you're finding something of yourself in here, and you're recognising that. If you keep passing that message on, I think in the Jewish sect or the biblical sect, it's a menorah light.
There was
You're
a
just passing the torch.
I mean, there was a
Electric
lassie
torch.
yesterday, like passing the baton, like you're saying. There was a lassie yesterday going on about her child, right? Her child's been labelled by society, and I was like talking to her, saying, no. What do you mean? And she was like, he's no good at the writing, he's no good at the maths. I was like, so what? Neither was I.
Draw a fucking picture.
Aye.
He'll tell you
Ken, what
he
she
was.
says? She says for about 7. He's been fixing the fence, changing the plugs, fixing the light.
Clever boy.
I was like, put him into some
smart
other.
monkey.
He's smart. He's just no good at the written language. He's no good at the maths. So
I was like that. I was terrible at school. It was just the hands-on stuff I was better at.
That's it. When you give your story, Tam, that's where it's made understandable, because what you do is you go back into it.
Aye.
You know, all the doors, you're like myself, you go in, it's not so much that you open an old door and you walk in, you shut the door, you lock the door, and all you can see in the corner in that darkness is a fucking violin. You go over, you smash the fucking thing, crack a hole in it, take the key out the door when you go out and leave the door open, so you can walk right back in and say, oh, I went there and the teacher told me this, I went to join there and they told me no because you're fucking this, that and the other, but you still didn't give up.
And you get these people, though, they've been dealt the same hand, and they can either go down, like you say, down the rabbit hole and bury their head in the sand, and they just blame society on that thing, or you could be like yourself and use it to better your life.
The one for me, Tom, the hardest thing for me is trying to suppress and hide and conform, because I've always been a monkey. There's no doubt in my mind I've been a monkey since I was a very young boy. As soon as, and it is detrimental to anyone today, and I would never advise it, but if you've had my past, you can't blame me for seeking other alternatives. So when I went and done the solvents thing, it opened a door that allowed this monkey to come out, and this fucking thing, it took it on. And yes, we weren't finished. We were getting dealt hand over fist, bad blows and everything else, but it was that when I got that, I've always lived as that monkey. But see, suppressing that to conform to your surroundings, it becomes another struggle in itself. So when they say to you, I think you've got brain damage, you're like, I think so too, because there's two of us inside the same fucking body here.
Have you got into a tube or a building or something, Tam, because you went all deep?
No.
Oh, it just sounded like you'd went all deep there. Sorry, that beeping there was someone else.
All deep.
Someone else.
Deep.
Oh, deep.
Oh, deep.
Right into the nuts.
Body.
Okay.
Squeal, bitch.
No, because you used to work and bounce off each other brilliantly. It's just effortlessly, and you wouldn't even think that. I think I can see that on your videos that two of you are great mates now, and that's come out of social media and TikTok and relating to each other's stories, and it bounces off each other. And I would like to see you two taking this for it, like as long as you go, and maybe even like a double act like Ant and Dick.
I don't know which one's which. You know. But no, I think that you're 100% right that that camaraderie between us, but I think it's something that can be passed anywhere. It would be absolutely like with yourself now. I mean, I've never met you. We've only talked via that. We've commented on each other's posts and things like that, but we've never had a conversation. But already there is no barriers, Tam. I didn't have barriers. I have no barriers. If you want to come in, come on in. I'll put the kettle on. I have no fucking issues with anybody coming in.
Let's go get biscuits, by the way.
Do you know what? I'll just stop there, because I was going to say I've got no problem with anybody coming inside my head, but that sounds a bit weird.
Especially saying that. Look,
You've got problems with me.
You've just said that to a Dundonian and all, by the way.
Trouble new.
Trouble.
I love Dundee. I used to go up there and put up phone masts way back. And again, that was the asshole conforming to society. But again, suppressing the monkey. And the monkey's always in the heat saying, oh, do this, do that. And you're like, no, can't eat.
I love Fifer. Say to James, I've got family in Fife and Ballingery and that. And
Blingery. I was talking about that yesterday with my wife.
Ballingery, neither.
Yeah.
So Blingery.
There was a wee blocky flats right opposite the shops, and I always was fascinated. I come over there about 14. That was when the the old smoking thing, that appeased me. Smoking and music was fantastic. It kept the monkey at peace, and that then, I think that's what it was. I think the monkey actually took on the demons more than the asshole did. But we used to love that, and we went over there, and I remember them saying, "Oh, you get good money for a bike with one pedal," and one pedal, they're fucking useless, is it no? And they're like, no, because you go up the coal bin, you get a bag of coal, and you stick it on the pedal, and when you're coming down the hill, the other one doesn't rip your shinty bits. And I thought, that's fucking smart.
Clever.
That's a monkey move, that.
It's a monkey move.
So, have you got many callers a day, or are you just testing the system?
Well, it's pretty much a test. It's pretty much a test today, but the phone was
went really
beeping
well.
there.
That's went brilliant.
Aye,
that.
the calling element is something that I've always wanted. It has to be part of what we're doing, but it'll probably be better when we're actually going live. That's the next big test. But right now, I want to just record and see where we're at. I would rather you were sat in the room as a guest than on the phone. Aye, because I mean, I can have 4 hours round the table. So that's the idea, is to have guests there physically in the room so that they can see the paintings, they can see, touch, talk, whatever. They can get the pamphlet or the booklet.
Well, then you want to have Bugsy the couple of these pamphlets, boy.
Aye, and it was a good job. I'm going to get you though, Tam, on a podcast, and that I want that just to be you and I, because I want to pick your brains, and who knows, we might get to the point where I say, do you know what? I'm just going to get Alan across, and we'll all do it. We'll do it together, or whatever. But once
I see these things, these podcasts,
we've just got let it go organically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Watching the guys doing their thing, it's the same as, and I said that to G as well. It's like us going to Diane's pool hall, having a game of pool. Tam comes in, he's standing at the bar, he's on his own. Listen, guys, you're right. If I
you want
of course,
a game, Tam?
Of course.
Aye.
And it's that.
I love Diane's pool hall. I love that.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. When guys can shoot the shit over the same thing, because we all have, we have so many things that are in common. So whether it's an age thing, whether it's a musical thing, it's a growing up thing, it's a scheme thing, there's too many variants that are all linked together. And that to me is what it is. When I worked the pubs, I had that many guys that come in that were just like peacocks. It'd be like, all right. What's your name? Oh, my name's that. What's your name? Where do you work? It takes that long. Whereas you just go in, shoot the shit and say, by the way, my name's Tam, how you doing? Magic, fancy game of pool, super duper. No barriers, no fucking blockades and no feathers.
And while we're at it, Tam, it's 3 o'clock. Do you need to pick the bairns up?
He didn't get it till 20 and take about 15-20 minutes to walk down the hill.
Well, there you go.
You don't want to get into trouble.
Yes, I was conscious of your time.
Was they bastards?
That's a hint, Tam. Fuck off, you're annoying me.
Well, I tell Alan I would do it subtly. No, listen, mate, you can sit on and ask questions all you want. I'm not bothered. You could sit.
No, that was the questions that I've been thinking of, just like where you seen yourself going and your achievements, and it's great seeing a different side to you, James, because for your TikTok videos, as soon as you switch that mic on, it's like you're confident, but it's sheer confidence and empathy and compassion as soon as that mic goes on.
It's 12 years, mate. 12 years of wish, 12 years of want, 12 years of desire, 12 years of I'm doing it, 12 years of, will I press the button, will I press the button, will I not press the button.
Compared to others that I've seen who wanted podcasts for so long, yours is, no one spoke up with us for that, but it is the most authentic. And see the phone in, I've never seen that on any podcast, because as soon as you said you were doing this, I was swatting up and watching podcasts. I was like, when you said you were doing the phone in, I was like, I've never seen a phone in one,
I wondered with the double-barreled questions. I was like, that's like a journal there, you know what I mean? You're a journalist.
I've been thinking of it for a while.
You've done well. For me, Tam, I'm going to let this grow just whatever way it grows, whatever way. But
you can't force these things.
And I mean, you guys are hearing it again and again, but other people watching or listening maybe haven't heard it. This, for me, is... I need it to be not just organic, but it needs to be interactive with people. Like if somebody's like, "Oh, see that talk," I'm going to phone them, and I want to get my 2 minutes over, and that can only happen when it goes live. I get that, but if I say right, Alan and I are recording 2 till 4 next week, phone in. Right, and whether Alan and I are talking about anything or nobody phones in, we've got enough to talk about. But if somebody phones in, it brings another dynamic to the podcast.
Definitely.
And I don't know. I've not come with that because I've seen somebody else do it. It's just what I wanted to do with this podcast. I wanted people to be able to interact with us, and that's why it's there as an option.
It's good watching the passion coming out, because you can see that you're passionate about it, and there's no, like you say, it's flowing organically between the two of you. There's no silent pauses or like stupid pauses or that. It's just sheer, just chatting and shooting the breeze.
That's, I think, with my own story, definitely, it just goes on and on and on. It's a fucking spider's web. There's no one thing.
Fascinating.
Even in here in the garage, I don't think there's one item that just is, that's an item. It just doesn't work like that. And it has so much a backstory that, you could go on and on. So you'll never get a stale spot, no for me anyway, a stale space next to the fireplace. That was the IKEA advert.
IKEA. Aye.
When you mention IKEA, man, that stuff's terrible.
Listen, damn, they gave me 1,600 quid for a couple of days graft, and I could not stop laughing. I'm sure I've said it in the TikTok before.
So it's on Vimeo. If you go onto Vimeo and look for the...
that's funny, It's so fucking stupid, but it was that funny. And I remember when we talked about it before, it wasn't the... it wasn't IKEA's gone soft, it's Glasgow's gone soft. And the whole premise behind it was that the soft furnishings in Glasgow, they wanted to portray it with these tough guys talking about football and stuff, but then they go into talking about soft furnishings. And the funniest bit about the Glasgow going soft was it was me, Gary McCormack, and a guy, Alan, that sadly passed away a few years back there. The three of us are from Edinburgh. And when they were looking for tough guys in Glasgow, we're from Edinburgh. That's how soft Glasgow had went. They had to employ assholes for Edinburgh.
Take that through to the west with you.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to love you and leave you because I've actually come down early.
Thank you,
right,
buddy.
Okay, pal.
But thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm going to be captivated, and I'm going to be waiting for this to come out. I've actually set the wee notification so when it goes up, I get the alarm, and I'm like, what? Sping! Sort of that. But I hope you enjoy. Have a cracking podcast, and thank you for having me on, and I'll speak to you guys later.
Thank you for phoning in, Tom, as our first...
And then he put me on hold again.
Never.
Your call is important to us.
TikTok video with this.
Please hold the line. Your call is important to us. Please hold the line.
Please hold.
Your call is important to us. Right, Tom. Tom, it just leaves me to do one thing, mate.
TFN for now.
There you go, son.
For now.
See you later, buddy.
Yes, Tom.
Cut off. See you later, mate. Sorry, Tom.
Sorry.
So we're still recording. That was good. That was a couple of extra wee questions, and it took you off on a couple of wee tangents, which was good as well. And that's what do we do? Well, we've got 6 whole minutes. Do you want to take 6 minutes to blather about the book, and then we'll take a wee break and then come back with
6 minutes for me. That the book's important is really important, but now that we've had interaction for external forces, live interaction, Tom's hitting it right in the head, and it's in that ballpark. Do I want anything from this? On a personal level what I want for it, and I think enough people that have watched and listened to podcasts or just the TikToks know that this is no about my personal journey. This is about somebody else's future. And if me serving, because when I look back, yes, I took a hard path. I didn't want anybody to go down that path.
No.
Society shouldn't be allowing people to go down that path. Schools and the curriculum shouldn't be allowing it. The prison system and all that, it shouldn't be allowing this anymore. They've never learnt. And to me, it's like looking at the new bridge, the Queen's Ferry crossing. You've got the old one, it's got a slip road, onto the bridge, 2 lanes, over you come. Well, what did he do? The fly bastard goes up the slip road and cuts over. The new bridge is the exact fucking same, but they've gave them a longer run. Where is evolution? Where do you learn? If I've suffered in my life, because again, they're fleeting fucking things. That the abuse there, they're fleeting.
Yeah.
I have more... And the commercial side, in the movie, and the singing and dancing thing, the musical, all of these things overpower and overshadow these things fucking immensely. But to me, evolution is that if I've suffered any hardship, I should be able to evolve enough to show somebody else, listen, didn't do that. I'm testimony that is going to drag you down for a long time, make you question your own fucking sanity, your own worth and your own value in life. That then you maybe have the dark clouds they come in, and when they come in and you didn't know how to chase them,
coming heavy,
you're fucked. Yes, and that's the harshest thing for me is looking and hearing about people that are suffering. I hate the fake fuckers. I'm no up for that at all, because I know that there's people that really do suffer.
Yeah.
And that, to me, seeing TikTok and some of the people that was on there, and that was it, the first reason was one guy, he's always chirpy as fuck. And next minute, another wee fella's went on and say, "Oh, I think he's having a hard time, let's reach out." And the old reach out and touch. But then the next minute they're back and they're all chirpy again. And I understand that, and that's fine. We're all like that.
But that's the thing with a lot of folk, Alan, which is different. You're very, very different. I think I'm kind of different on the TikTok and things like that. It's not like Instagram where everybody's posting their best self. You know what I mean?
James, fucking evolution. Instagram. What was the first ones? Fucking
MySpace and all they.
Oh,
that
things, bollocks! I remember being in Aberfeldy and putting on a computer again, because I'd done the computing thing with the college, and then blanked that, went away, become the asshole, and then I thought, let's go back. So there's MySpace and all these things, and then it starts going down the road. This is what I've had for my tea. By the time they've got the perfect filter and the perfect photo, their tea's fucking cold.
And that's it. And that's what I'm saying with TikTok. It's different.
To me, that's no evolution. This thing, when I saw that, and I saw, wow, this wee guy's reaching out for my phone to help somebody else. That I can get involved with. Facebook is two-faced fucking book.
Two-faced.
It's no good. That's why I didn't have anything to do with it now. Twitter, it's for twats that didn't really want to engage. It's all about, let's vote for this, vote for that. I can't see the white of your eyes unless you're showing me a video. And they 3-minute things, that 3-minute window is enough to let me see if you're genuine or if you're full of shite. And I've no got time for bullshit. Why should I? If I think that we're in toil and testing times in humanity, I want evolution. I want to go back. I didn't want to revolve. I didn't want to go chasing my fucking tail around a cul-de-sac to places that people have been before. That to me is done. It should be done and dusted. Let's move on. You can use your own story to empower somebody else. Why would you not want to do that?
Exactly.
So if you've suffered any hardship in your life and you want to bail out somebody else so that they didn't have to go through it, or you can say to them, listen, it's all right. Yeah, if I'm going into, like I was saying to Tam, when you go in that corridor and you've got all these dark rooms with all your shite in it, and you've got to go in and appease the noise that's in there. When you come out, take the key, shut the key, fucking leave the door open. Seeing that darkness, see if I could have walked into that darkness with some fucker holding my hand, like my wee doodle with the wee paw and the bishop, holding my hand to take me a bit of light into that darkness, I would have been a different person. But then I wouldn't be here spouting at you saying, what do I want to do? I want other people to reach out and help other people. If your backstory has a worth, if it's worth something to you that you've carried it all this time.
Clearly, in what you've just said there is, Alan, you want to be the person taking that hand.
Oh, I'd love to. But fucking love
and that's what this has been done for. That
a wee hand.
It's what this is actually done for.
Shot.
Nice, try and get it in there. So we need to work out a way to get this to you if you want it, right? So I'm thinking we need to get people to message us. We need to get people to message us. It's not so easy through the TikTok thing because I think you've got to both be connected. But certainly on the YouTube,
you need to get close up to that one, right, so that we know that it's done.
Yes, so we are getting to that point where, if you can see that, that's in the book.
Time's up.
Time is up. So we're going to press the button, mate. That has been amazing. There's somebody else phoning me, but I'll just cut them right off. They can come back later.
At the same time, synchronicity.
Synchronicity, mate.
Was that Tam? Did I just hear Tam sighing as well there?
No, he's away. Wow, that was good though, having him coming in. I like that. We'll have to keep that feature somehow. Or, now and again, if it warrants it.
The Fly Fifer and Just Another Monkey. Time to backpedal forwards down the rabbit hole.
Doodle pip for now. I like that now.